Blessed be. Today is May 11th, and it is National Third Shift Workers Day. This is to celebrate and thank the people that work throughout the night to keep our community safe while we sleep, and they continue to operate the businesses that are required to run 24 hours. I have never had a third shift job. I didn't have that experience cross my path, but I would send a heartfelt thank you to those who do navigate that schedule, because there are a lot more hardships that come with being off kilter of the timing of society, the common 8 to 5 concept of businesses, and how many of these experiences are timed to be completely inconvenient to a third shift worker. Today at work, while the intent was to get started with the title block, I got to admit I am not feeling the most creative today. So I kind of went more of a hyper focus into some of the technical aspects. But this is some of that foundational work, so it was still very productive. I went and was going to create a new drawing that had different sheet sizes to put the title blocks in. All my variations and attempts and all that stuff. And so I opened up that original template that I had created to get started with, because we're starting from scratch with all this stuff. And I just found, and I've got my document that documents what I did, so I went to check and make sure if there were any inconsistencies between my tracking documentation versus the DWT that was in the field, or it's actually my C drive, but you know what I mean. And there, of course, were, so I spent my time combing my template, kind of updating a bit and making sure my tracking documentation lined up a bit better. So I've got some ideas. I'm so glad I did this, because I did upgrade the template a little bit. And so it was still fun. Not the direction I thought I was going to go in, but definitely some important foundational pieces. Looks like I'm going to next try the template one more time, and then see if I can, again, first run of some template stuff, just gotta make small steps and progresses and see where hopefully a big push will just kind of expel itself through consistent small efforts. The other thing this got me doing today was messing with a metric template. Now, I hadn't started that yet. I've spent this time kind of studying metric and how it's set up. And in general, it's been about, how when you have an English template and you need to modify. But I had never created a metric template. And to see kind of, where it set all its defaults, and does it line up with kind of the mannerism of that I studied with earlier, where all the variables were. And then by using the ISO template to start with, it should all be there. So I'm excited to kind of dig more into that and kind of compare and see how well I understood. That's pretty much what I did for today. Weird thing is, actually messing with the template, I realized I had some layers in a different file that I wanted in the template. So I try to use, I know what Design Center's for, and it's a handy feature to import something like a layer. But for some reason today, I gave it about 2 attempts at different times, or multiple attempts at 2 times, to make sure it wasn't just a slow network issue. But when I went to click the path to access the source drawing that I wanted to take the layers from, I got the blue donut of death over it, and I had to go to the task manager to force the drawing to close. So I just went back to the, old-fashioned way where I opened my source drawing, copied something that had that layer property on it, and pasted it into my template so I could have what I wanted. Yeah, kind of weird to know you've got a tool, but the tool don't work. So I'm real curious about that. I might try one more time tomorrow. Again, is it a network thing or more of a, I guess that would be a bandwidth thing if it's more of a connection service, not network, because it should work through the network unless it's some sort of VPN issue. But that doesn't make much sense to me. I'm just randomly throwing stuff out there. Yeah, so that was the problem I discovered today. But lots of solutions, lots of progress. I'm very happy with the steps that I did take today, even though it wasn't my original intent. That's all right. There's always tomorrow. If you'd like to hear more entries into the CAD Witches Grimoire, don't forget to hit subscribe. And until next time, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.